What is up? Welcome on into this live recruiting chat with Michael Langston, part of the Warchant.com family. It is Warchant TV. What is up? Big win over Miami this past weekend, 31-28. A slew of blue chippers in attendance and so much to talk to. You would be ahead of the curve if you were subscribed to the website, which is warchant.com, using that promo code Warchant30, or subscribing to our YouTube channel, which is totally free. It's in the lower right corner of the screen. Hit subscribe. Please hit the thumbs up as well. You tell them, Michael. They'll listen to you.
Hit the like button for us, guys. They got a W. It's a win, a big win, actually, over Miami. So, yeah, hit that like button for us. Help us promote these things. Certainly a big weekend with recruiting. There's a lot of stuff we've already posted. I'm getting ready to put the finishing touches on a new 12 to watch. That's coming up probably Monday. So we got a lot of big things going on. I already answered 2 pages worth of questions for the chat that's on the Premier Recruiting Board. You can go over there, watch the show, look through all this stuff. There's all kinds of things. There's all kind of team coverage. Hit the like button, man. It's we will appreciate it, and it'll really help us promote all these things. And certainly, you can see all this great content that we already have on warchant.com, including even the I think David Ross interview yesterday. So can't beat that. There's so many great things. So click on it, guys, and let's get this thing cracking.
It is a call-in show, Michael. I forgot to call in, though, so I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to step away and get the phone line fired up. But Tyree West was on campus Wednesday, Tifton product. Where does Florida State stand with him, do you think? What stood out to you? How surprised are you that he was on campus in the middle of a school week?
Well, I mean, he was supposed to be at the Miami game. That didn't happen for other reasons, probably travel, I would imagine. Some situations happened there. And then certainly FSU's been on him for a while, so I felt like they were a strong candidate as long as he visited multiple times. He visited this Wednesday. He's going to visit again officially on December 4th. And this might shock some people, but I think FSU's number one there right now. I like where they sit. If I had a forecast, which Rivals doesn't let us do on committed prospects, I would put them on FSU. That's how much I feel the position that FSU's in. So they're certainly, I think, in a solid position with Tyree West. Certainly, he's indicated that he's going to take other visits. There's certainly a lot of them out there. But I think right now things are looking pretty good for the 5-star defensive tackle with FSU right now. And he's certainly jacked up about, obviously, the way they played against Miami. He still watched the game. He really likes Coach Odell a lot. There's a lot of connections. DJ Lundy's close with him. He's close with a lot of players already on the team. He knows a lot of people there. It's not that far away from, if anybody's driven from Tiff County to Tallahassee, it's not a long distance. So certainly there's a lot of factors that are working in for them. And I think there's a dramatic shift in this recruitment from Georgia to FSU, I think is a very real possibility.
Michael, how important was that win? I mean, not just for Tyree West, but for all these guys that they're after and maybe even trying to set some stuff up for 23.
I think it was huge because, I said that, and a lot of people were critical of me when I said this all week. I'm like, and I said this out after the NC State game. I was like, this is a must win. This is not one of those wins where you just go in there and, hey, we played well. Look, it's another close game like Clemson. They played well. We see growth. Now, you have to win. Like at some point, you have to take the next step against a in-state rival or a rival in general. You got to get the job done. I said this last week. This is a must-win. They had to get the job done, and it didn't matter how you did it. It didn't matter how pretty it looked, which it wasn't pretty, but they got the job done. Get the win. Get out of there. The excitement level on a 1 to 10 was right there at 10 for me for recruits, and just the impact that you have going forward, because now you have something. It's not just about Norvell getting up there, giving passionate speeches and talking about, hey, this is what we are. We're turned around. You got to be part of the change, all that stuff. It's now real. It's real because kids are seeing where you're going. Your kids are seeing, like, okay, it's not just talk. They see the development with these kids. They see that Norvell's maximizing everything they have. Recruits now can genuinely, really feel it. commits they've all been saying this, but now when uncommitted guys are seeing guys like Marvin Jones, I don't think you get Marvin Jones if you don't win that game. So now you have a realistic, solid shot of getting top prospects like Kevin Coleman, Marvin Jones, Tyree West. Those guys, you've now put yourself in the picture like, hey, we can pull this off. FSU can get this done. And I think that's why that game was so important, to give you a chance to finish, strongly, not just for this class, but I think it's more beneficial for the 2023 class, because now you can build in going into next year. Regardless of what they do, obviously you want to see them win the next 2 games, go to a bowl. That'd be fantastic to keep the momentum going. But this is a momentum builder and a program changing win for a team that hasn't done a lot of winning in about 4 or 5 years. So this is a big moment for the program, and I think it's a game changer for, I guess, where they go in recruiting.
Feel like what Gator Kirk is to call-in shows, Rob Rathbun has been in terms of trying to get on this pillar column. We love this dude. One day, Rob. Thank you so much. $50, man. We certainly appreciate it. But
Thanks,
Michael,
Rob.
no question. Don't you want to ask you a question?
Yeah, let's fire away.
Yeah, bring it on, Rob. We're here for you, man. We certainly appreciate it. You're always here. You're always showing extra love, man. So it's super awesome of you, man. Here's Jordan Newton throwing $10 hairs our way. Jordan, we appreciate that. That gets you a little bit of
dollar bills, y'all.
Says he appreciates all that we do. Earlier in the week, Corey mentioned if we were to go 5-7, we could still go bowling. My question is, how is that possible? Thanks, and go Noles. It's a recruiting show, Jordan. Recruiting show. No, well, some teams are able to get in with 5 wins because of APR scores. So some teams that actually do win 6 games might have too low of an APR score to actually be able to be bowl eligible. And the fact that Florida State does have a greater pull. Again, these bowls have their pick of teams. You do need to have 6 to be, I think, officially eligible. But there is a gray area where sometimes, I know Mississippi State 4 or 5 years ago had 5 wins. They got into the Gasparilla Bowl because of APR stuff with other programs. So hopefully that could be the door in for us.
Yep.
Let's take a phone call. I'm sure it'll be Gator Kirk probably asking about recruiting. Love you, Jordan. I'm just giving you a hard time, man. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. Let's go to the phone lines. I don't even know if it's if Gator Kirk is first in line. Well, of course he is. Of course he is. Why wouldn't he not be? 88th call for our guy from the 757. Gator Kirk, good evening to you.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you guys doing tonight? What's going on? Less than a month to go before early signing day.
That's right. Let's go. Mike, feel it, man. Feel the energy, Michael.
I feel it. I like his energy. We're glad to have you, Kirk. I can tell you this, Kirk. It was a lot funner to go to Moore Athletic Center on Sunday morning than it has been for about 4 or 5 years. That was a lot of fun. Certainly a big weekend, and a big win, and they got it done. And there's nothing more to say. I mean, it's just a big weekend, and certainly a program-changing win. But what's on your mind, Kirk?
My question is about Bryson Hurst. Do we have any interest in him?
Yes, he's talking about offensive lineman Bryson Hurst from Mississippi. He decommitted from Ole Miss, I think, last week. I have not heard anything new, Kirk, with him. The only offensive lineman I've heard that there's activity or solid, consistent activity has been Julian Armella. I have not heard anything with Hurst. I'm not saying that they won't. Some people feel like he's probably going to end up at Mississippi State. That's what the feelings are. But I have not heard anything specific about Bryson Hurst as far as visiting or setting up a visit. I have heard there's contact, and they have talked with him over the phone. I think Atkins has talked with him a little bit, but nothing where I call serious where I can report and say, hey, this is going to happen. But certainly a guy that I think could visit, but right now that's really all I have with Bryson Hurst.
All right, gentlemen. I appreciate everything you all do. Make sure you support all the supporters that Warchant does. Y'all have a great evening. Let's go up there and beat the Eagles. Go Noles.
That's right.
Have a great night.
Let's go.
Thanks,
Gator Kirk firing us off. Maiden voyage. First call of the night in the books. We appreciate it. Gator Kirk from the 757. By the way, if you folks are wondering the name of that school he goes to, like Gautier, Goder, no, it's Gaucher.
There you go.
Pronounced Gaucher. Shout out Mississippi, stand up. Let's keep it rolling. One other phone call? Michael?
Let's do it.
Let's give you a phone call then. Let's go. Thomasville, North Carolina. It's Daryl. Daryl in Thomasville. Daryl, good evening to you.
Good evening, Aslan. Good evening there, Michael. How y'all doing? From the 336 area code here in Thomasville, North Carolina. How you doing?
We're doing great, man. Obviously a great weekend, and there's a lot of happy Seminoles, certainly. I don't think people really truly I don't think people outside of FSU fans really understand why this is so big, because it's Miami. It's still Miami. I don't care what the records are. So certainly a monumental night for FSU. But yeah, we're excited. Got a lot of stuff going on. Recruiting's kicking. So what's on your mind, Daryl?
I grew up. I was born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida, and I spent some time there in Tallahassee. So I know exactly what it's all about to know what it is to beat the University of Miami and to beat the University of Florida. I mean, I grew up with them scumbags, so I mean, I know exactly what it is.
There you go. Fire away. Fire it.
To go through all that junk. So. One thing I wanted to ask you is about Wesley Basanti. Is I know I think I heard I think today or something like that I was hearing about something about him and his mom are real big Hurricane fans, but yeah, he might make it's more like a business decision on where he might go. It's like between FSU and Miami, and so what's kind of your feeling? I think he's supposed to visit Miami this weekend. What's your gut feeling on where he's going to go?
Yeah, I mean, obviously for people that don't know, Wesley was in Tallahassee this weekend. He was an unofficial visitor, certainly with his mom there, and certainly the visit went really good. We got up with him afterwards. A lot of positive things. I think going into the visit, I would say Miami was probably the leader. I think after this visit, I would now give FSU the edge. I think Miami's also going to likely a coaching change. It looks imminent. Just fired their AD, so it's probably usually that's a sign for that the coach is next. I think kids saw that. That's going to impact him when you depending on who they hire. Certainly that will aid FSU. So I would say FSU right now for me, Daryl, and I think yeah, he grew up a Miami fan, but yeah, it will be a business decision. Everything he's done has been very business-like. He's told me that from the start. He's made it clear, like, look, I like Miami. That's a team I like, but at the same time, I'm going to go to the place that fits me the best. And as crazy as it sounds, even though he's from Miami, FSU probably has more connection on their staff than anybody that he's connected with at Miami. I think you have Sabbath Joseph. That's his former coach at Miami Central. He's now at FSU as a support staff member. Randy Shannon, he's also very tight with, and he's very tight with Chris Marv, and a lot of those players he's very tight with. So there's a lot of things going on that's a positive for FSU with Wesley. Certainly, it's a battle. Don't confuse that. He's going to visit Miami again this weekend. That's going to be a battle until he decides in December. But certainly, I think FSU got everything they wanted out of this visit to possibly reel him in. But yeah, it's still a battle. But I'll say the same thing I just said a minute ago. I think FSU holds the edge right now.
Okay, then I guess my last question would be to you. I know the kid from Pittsburgh visited the wide receiver from Pittsburgh visited Florida State this weekend, and I think I forget the name, the one from Kentucky visited Florida State this weekend. And I know it's once you get guys that's already committed to a team, it's really kind of hard to flip them. But I know they had interest in Florida State. So how do those visits go? And would it be really hard to flip these guys, or did Florida State do enough to kind of put it in their head that Florida State might be a team for them down the road.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go through those individually. The first one you're talking about is wide receiver Camden Brown. He's not from Pittsburgh, but he is committed to Pittsburgh. But he's from Fort Lauderdale. He's committed to Pittsburgh. Visited officially this weekend. You really felt like the visit was good. It was solid. It seemed like connect. He brought his parents with him, which is always a important factor. I just don't feel that FSU is like pushing with everything they have for this kid. I think, and I'll get to the reasons why. I think if they're going to add receivers from the high school ranks, I think they want somebody like that has the playmaking ability that just takes over games, like a Kevin Coleman or somebody like that. I'm not saying they won't push for him. I'm saying it didn't feel like the priority was there compared to a Kevin Coleman. And the reason I say this, because I think I got a feeling like they're going to hit the portal hard, because that's going to be one of their number one portal needs is wide receiver. So I think if they get a receivers, they want to bring in guys that are immediate impact guys that they feel can help them right away. I'm not sure you're going to get that with Camden right away. I think Camden's a solid player. I think he could be down the line, but I didn't get the sense that it was going to be a priority, like heavy priority right now moving forward. So that part's out of the way. The other one he's talking about is defensive back DeCarlos Nicholson. He's committed to Kentucky. He's from the Mississippi area. He's got a lot of ties with both Marcus Woodson and Slade Buckley, who's a defensive analyst at FSU. I think his family is really tight with Slade. So there's a lot to like about that. Now, this one's different because they're definitely pushing high priority. And I got the impression coming out of the visit on Saturday, I thought like, okay, FSU's right there. The people I talked to basically told me they're right there. And then on Sunday, they told me, watch out. We think FSU is the team to beat. So now I think FSU is now the team to watch. Even though he's committed to Kentucky, I think FSU is the team to watch for Nicholson. So going forward, if I had a pick and signing day was the day, I would pick FSU for Nicholson. But again, still have visits left. He's still going to visit Ole Miss, Mississippi State, maybe in a return back to Kentucky and Florida State. So there's still a lot left as far as visiting. But right now, I like where FSU sits with Nicholson.
All righty. Well, thank you guys. Y'all do a awesome job each and every week, and I really enjoy what you do for Warchant.com, and I enjoy how the time that you take with us each and every week, and you just really appreciate it. Aslan, you do a great job, buddy. We thank all you've done for us on Warchant, and we just say go Noles. Beat Boston College. I see this team going 6-6. I think they're going to beat Boston College 31-17. I see us going to the swamp, draining that swamp, and sending Dan Marlin packing to wherever he wants to go. And you have to say go Noles, and thanks guys, and God bless. Bye bye.
So, dude, what else is there to say? It's Daryl from North Carolina, man. The passion, feel it.
It's there. You can feel it. Daryl's in it. Daryl's excited. A lot of excitement, man. There's a lot to be excited about.
Let's grab one more, and then we'll take. We'll get back to we got a lot of people, a lot of YouTube stuff.
Okay.
But we'll go to Wes in the Villages. Wes, good evening to you.
Good evening, fellas. How we doing?
Doing pretty good, man. How are you?
Doing well. What a win on Saturday night. 4th and 14. Going to live in FSU lore forever.
Yeah, we'll be the play that haunts Manny forever.
No doubt. So my question, Michael, with regard, because there's been several coaches that have been dismissed, and it looks like there's a couple more on the block. Clearly, we've helped Manny's cause, and I venture to guess Dan Mullen, if he loses these next two games, it's almost a certainty he's gone. And so what I wanted to know is, and it doesn't necessarily mean those two teams, but of any of the teams, let's just stick with the South. But I mean, I know Penn State with there's a kid up there. But what recruits do you think that the teams are either have lost their coach or could lose their coach either leaning, to that school. But if the coaching change is made, do you feel like we've got a really good shot at landing?
Well, I still think it benefits FSU the most with Miami, just because there's so many kids that they recruit from South Florida. There's not a particular one that's a commit list on them. It's more so the impact of FSU recruiting him, Miami recruiting him, a lot of them from the 2023 class. So I think it benefits FSU the most probably with that. There's a few kids on LSU's class that FSU could make a move for. Harrius Welch is one. There's a few in there, a few more Demori and Tolan, although I think he's probably going to Georgia. But I think those are really the main teams. Obviously, Florida's got a few kids over there, but I think most of those are kind of legacies or grew up fans of Florida, so they won't be easy to flip. But really, just you just have to see who they hire, really, because everyone asks me that all the time, like. What guys are we going to poach from this team because the coach is leaving? It's like you really got to wait and see who the coach is before you can really decide who you're going to get, unless you're a program like Georgia or Alabama or Ohio State or somebody like that where you can just immediately go in there because you're already a top program. I mean, I think FSU is getting there, but it's still got a ways to go to be in that position where you can just go in there and snatch commits from other schools.
Yeah, that's fair. I was just a case in point, like Julian Armella with LSU, Wesley
Yeah.
Basante down with Miami. Like, I just feel like there's a few kids that I feel like we're kind of on the fence, and that those changes with it being less than a month to early signing day, that
Right.
it may swing the pendulum and kind of help solidify that. I mean, it ain't going to hurt, but
Yeah.
I just that was kind of my point.
Yep. And like I said, most of them will be in South Florida. I mean, most of the kids I think will be South Florida.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Also, there's a lot of rumors going around about the potential candidates if Manny Diaz gets fired. I think a lot of it's just people talking on boards and rumors and this and that. But my question to you is, which coach would you not want if Dan Mullen or Manny Diaz, either or both, were to be fired this season? Is there any particular coach where you'd go, oh, if this coach goes to that school, that could make a big impact in the recruiting class?
Well, I'd probably pick Mario Cristobal just because he's so good in South Florida, and with FSU that recruits their area so hard. So that would be the one for me, just in recruiting and the recruiting aspect. Lane Kiffin's another good one. I mean, those two are the top of my mind, but I don't think either one of them end up at Miami anyway. So, but with that said, Mario Cristobal will be the one for me, just because I know how good he is in South Florida. I know how connected he is with kids in those areas, and I know that FSU recruits that area pretty hard. That's an area that FSU likes to go after kids, and certainly if something happened, the surprise happened where he is there, I think that will be one that will make things difficult for FSU.
Well, I'll say something to that. I got a good buddy of mine that went to school with Mario Cristobal, and they're still friends and keep in touch. And talking with him, he said there is absolutely no chance of Cristobal going to Miami, because apparently they kind of burned their bridges with him. He didn't want to get into too many details, but from everything I've heard, I don't see Cristobal going there. Plus the money he's getting out in Oregon and what he's building, I don't think that's happened. But I would agree that if he did, that would be huge. But like you, I don't see it happening. And after my buddy told me that, I thought, because he knows, he grew up with him, they've known him for forever, and they talk. And so anyway, I mean, you never know, money talks. But
I just don't think Miami is I just don't think Miami's an attractive program they once were, like compared to now how things are. They need improvement in facilities. They need improvement in a lot of different areas. Their fans don't even go to the darn games. I mean, half the time they don't have their own stadium. Like, what do you do when you're hosting kids? You're 40 minutes away from your stadium you play it. So it's not exactly the most attractive thing. And I'm not saying that for the Miami fans, it's a great job. It's a very good job. I respect Miami a lot. But at the same time, I'm just pointing out stuff that are facts compared to other schools. there's other schools that are more attractive, and certainly Oregon would be very attractive to me if I was a recruit.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Hey, have you guys seen those or checked out? Maybe pre-ordered you a 4th and 14 Jordan Travis shirt yet? Those are pretty killer. I'm sure you guys have talked about it, maybe shown images of them, but those I wish that kid well with that. Everybody needs to go support him. That's a pretty amazing thing.
Yeah, and they do, and it kind of goes back to what I said last week. I mean, big shout out to the fans last week. I mean, you guys really helped that team with your electricity, that atmosphere. You certainly helped the recruiting environment. Kudos to Jordan Travis. Played his heart out. Big game, big possessions, just big moments all game long. But I think I really challenged the crowd last week that if you guys really care, to get out there, and they certainly did that. And just the program in general, I think it was a big lift for the program. That's why I said it's a program-changing win based on where they were. Probably the best win I'm seeing in 4 or 5 years. So, yeah. And certainly the 4th and 14 shirt, that's certainly very popular, and certainly that'll live in the minds of Miami fans probably forever.
Yeah, I was at that Notre Dame game and know what it was like, and I've heard from several people that were at the Miami game that said it was just as intense, if not louder. So that's really great for those recruits. They definitely hit it out of the park hosting all those visitors for those 2 games. So, well, anyway, I'll get off here, guys. Thanks for taking the call, Aslan. Keep up the good work as always. Michael, be good. Everybody, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well as Warchant.com, the best in the business. Y'all have a good evening. Go Noles, beat BC. Bye.
That is correct, everybody.
Yep.
That's Wes.
Thank you, Wes. Appreciate the call.
All you people on YouTube, God bless you all for being here. Thank you. Hit the thumbs up. Certainly would appreciate it. But let's get you folks involved. You've been here listening, so let's get you folks involved. Eric Angel's here. He dropped $31 with him too. That's pretty cool.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Great win, Michael. Last Saturday, from the sounds of it, heard the recruits were thrilled by the outcome of the atmosphere in Doak. Who's next?
Yeah, that's a good question, Eric. I mean, there's really nobody on dock where they're ready to just, okay, here's my set date and I'm deciding. I'll just go with the guy that I said on the board is Tyree West. I mean, I think that's the guy they're going to get. But I think all the next commitments are all going to be around the same time in December. So if I'm going to pick one, I'm going to pick Tyree West just on the intel I've gotten with his recruitment. I think they sit pretty good. Now he's going to take business, and that could change. But as of tonight, on November 18th, Aslan.
Correct. 18th.
Yeah, November 18th. I would pick Tyree West. That would be my pick, Eric.
We'll take it. I like that one, man. That's, I was talking about at practice. Like, I always get a little bit leery when other teams back off guys, but when it's like Georgia, it's like, okay, it's fine.
Yeah, we understand.
Yeah,
you guys are good.
Yeah,
I mean, so I was joking with Aslan. It was like, he's like, why? It's like, yeah, probably because Georgia has the best defensive tackle class coming in. I mean, they're very good. And it's nothing against Tyree. It's just, they recruit at such a high level that, hey, whatever it takes, whatever break you can get, at this point, you take advantage of it. And then certainly FSU's jumped on him. And they have stayed on this kid all year long. This isn't a kid that just all of a sudden decided. Now, he did all of a sudden decide to visit that day, but they've been on him. So he's visited in summer before. They've been on him. So it just it rewarded their persistence on Tyree West, regardless of the reason.
Thanks for the question. Jason, good night. I don't know if that's his real name. What are you hearing out of Kevin Coleman's Oregon visit?
Yeah, had a really good time. I've heard the visit was really good. Connected, liked what he saw with the offense. Obviously, they get receivers the ball, they spread it around. It's an offense that's fun. I think he had a really good time there. I think everything clicked. It seemed with the visit, but I'm going to say what I've said before. I have not heard anything, guys, that will make me change my forecast pick of Kevin Coleman to FSU. I still feel right now, at least as of tonight, I think FSU is the team that I think will win out. And I've heard also there's a good chance that it's likely that Kevin comes back to FSU for a visit in December right before he decides. So I think he likes Oregon a lot. That's kind of one of his dream schools, as he calls it. But at the same time, there's more to recruiting than just, oh, that's my dream school. It's about just the culture around there, the fit, who has the better fit. And two, the big thing with Kevin is he wants to see the field early. Well, I don't know if you can find a place that you're going to see the field earlier than FSU. They need serious help at receiver. Certainly, he would bring a lot of explosive plays to that offense. And I think Kevin's been monitoring this team and how they've done all year. And I think that's a big factor in this as well. That, I went back to, hey, if you don't win this game, that's going to affect guys like Kevin Coleman. And, they went in there, got the job done, showed some explosive plays. Obviously, no more explosive than, Ja'Kai Douglas and Andrew Parchment on that last drive. And so when you do these things, that keeps kids engaged. And I think the last 3 or 4 weeks, that's really helped their recruiting and keeping these guys that are uncommitted engaged. And Oregon is a serious threat, probably the biggest threat. I don't think it's over. I just think that's kind of where I sit right now with Kevin, and I think FSU still holds the advantage.
Everybody wants to go to Oregon. A coach in Florida once told me, until it's time to go to Oregon. So we'll see how that goes. I know he's not from Florida, but point remains. Do we know a guy named Antonio Williams at all, Michael?
Yes, he's from Irmo, South Carolina. I follow him a lot on our Friday Night Rewind. He tears it up every week. I'm actually, it's funny Mike mentioned that because I'm actually calling him tonight. So I'm going to try to reach out to Antonio, see if there's anything there. I think he visited Ole Miss, if I'm not mistaken, over the weekend. So I think he was over there. And FSU been a place that he's talked about visiting, but I haven't heard that he has. So, but I do know they're consistently communicating with him. But that's what I want to kind of find out, Mike, just how serious it is. Is there a chance? Where they stand? And then go from there. And I will report that, obviously, on the PRB as soon as I hear something. Pop it in there. But yeah, he's a dynamic player, Mike. You're not lying. I mean, he's very dynamic. He is exactly what I mentioned with Camden Brown earlier. Antonio is exactly kind of the Kevin Coleman, type that fits what they're looking for. Explosive guys that can help you right away. So I'm intrigued to hear what he has to say about FSU and if there's any interest in there. And certainly I'll let you guys know later tonight.
Appreciate the question, Mike. Thank you very much. Khalil's here, everybody. Chances. Well, first off, we'll get you a little 5. Yeah, we'll give you. He's a pillar. Chances with Earl Little Jr.
Yeah, Earl Little Jr. visited this weekend unofficially. He was there for that big game. We got up with him, had a full report. I think they're in there. I think Alabama is really. It will be interesting because Alabama is recruiting so many guys. I think Demoni Jackson is one that I think they're getting ready to land. He's a 5-star cornerback. So if he gets him, it gives him like 3 or 4 corners already. Are they going to take another one? I don't know. I mean, that's why I think it's still up in the air because I think he's very high on FSU. I think FSU is right there. I would still say Alabama would hold the edge, but I think FSU is very much in the picture for Earl Little.
Do you want to? We got to do it once, right? Every show, just got to get it in. Destin Hill.
Oh, these guys are consistent every week. But I love it. I love consistency. Now, it's the same thing, Ace. They are expecting him in January. That's what I was told. And for people that are wondering, I check on this every week, like every single week. Like before I even do these chats, which we hardly ever do. Hold on a second.
Uh-oh. Breaking news? Oh. Oh, my God.
Before I was saying, I check on this every week before we even do these chats. This is kind of a special occasion that we decided to do another one. But I check on this, guys, every single week to see if there's anything new with Destin Hill. So trust me, you guys can keep asking. I do not mind. Doesn't bother me at all. At all. Keep asking. But right now, that's what I tell people. The expectation is January. That's what we hear. And when January gets here, we'll find out.
Thanks, though, Ace. Everybody wants to know that as well. You're not the only person asking. Mark Sermons is here, everybody. Give it up for one Mark Sermons. Oh, that's not the sound it's supposed to make. Everybody's supposed to go. Although, Mark, maybe that's your chime now.
There you go.
Thank you, Mark. We appreciate it. The $10, very much so. Have we had any contact with wide receiver Julian Lewis from Davie Western?
Mark, that's a new one to me. I have not heard of any contact there yet with FSU and Julian. Hey, Aslan, what do you think, man? Can we do a
live
yeah.
scout? Live?
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's do one.
We need like music to break through when we hear it's like live scouting with Michael Langston. All right, we'll do it all together here. Let's go look at this huddle page real quick. What are we listed as? We're 6'2", 195. We wear the number 1. It's our jersey number. Let's look at some season highlights updated. Just 2 days ago.
There we go.
Fire it up. Ooh, almost 1,100 receiving yards.
There we go.
Touchdowns. I think he spelled receiving wrong, but it's okay. 4.540, which means it's probably 4.6-ish, 4.7-ish guy. But let the tape speak, Aslan.
Let's see.
I mean, if that's your first play, I'm not wowed, but let's see. There's got to be more.
I mean, nice, location of the ball. Obviously, he's not extremely fast off the line. He can work on his takeoff. He does do a good job in press coverage and getting off his man, as you see right there. That play, that was a pure example of that. So, yeah, I like him. I just don't know where you would use this kid. In your offense with obviously he runs well. He gets off blocks. He gets off press man really well. But I like him. He's a good player.
Okay, I like that. Hey man, Julian, put that play first.
Yes.
Watching this, put that play higher up on your reel, man.
I like that.
That was exponentially better than the first play. So, but Mark, hey, thanks for dropping a new name on us. We always like doing live scouts with Michael Langston.
We love it. Looks good. I like him.
Brian Walters is here, everybody. Brought $5 with him. That's pretty cool.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Thank you, Brian. What do you think about that most recent offensive tackle that decommitted from UCF and committed to FSU? I don't know much about him. Thank you so much. Not just thank you, but thank you so much. Thank you, Brian.
It was kind of a blessing.
Hey-o.
Okay.
Hey-o.
Too early. Bless Harris is his name. Offensive tackle. He is originally, for those that didn't know, he's from St. Augustine High School in Louisiana. And if you know your history, that's where David Johnson's from, St. Augustine. So
Augustine.
Yeah. Okay.
They care about that stuff out there, Michael. They're watching us in New Orleans. They're watching us out there. They're watching us in
Augustine. Sorry, guys. Yeah. And so he is from that area, from the boot. Certainly David Johnson knows him really well. He is, I think, got 8 starts, I want to say. Looks like a very active right tackle when I watch him. I see a right tackle. I like how he engages. I like how he finishes. Can get a little cleaner with his technique and footwork and foot placement. But I think he's a guy that can help them a lot right away. I mean, that's what they need, help right away. Played at Lamar over there in Texas and committed to UCF. Obviously, because he was on campus, that tells you how high visit he was. So I said it was likely he's going to commit. So he's a kid I think is going to help them. And I think he's going to play a lot and a lot of meaningful snaps. And I think I'm not going to go ahead and guarantee he's going to start, but I think this guy's going to help them a lot. I think.
go ahead. I'm sorry, Michael.
No, I was just saying that I think he can help them a lot. I think he's going to play a lot and certainly a guy that I like based on what I've seen on some of his films. And certainly areas that I think he can improve on. But overall, yeah, some nice green there in the old in-car world game.
In the Incarnate Word, yeah, he busts up Incarnate Word, but Nichols gave him fits, it looks like.
Yeah. So, I mean, it ain't perfect, but I think you're looking for productive guys that can help you, that have experience, and this kid certainly fits the pedigree for that.
Well, let's take one more question here on YouTube, and then we'll bounce back to our callers that have been waiting in the queue. Patrick Rose asks, who would you compare Javonte Barnes with? Patrick says, Dalvin.
Oh, yeah, I'm not comparing anybody with that. He's quick. I mean, he's a home run hitter, but hold on a second.
Go ahead, Michael. I got you. I always have water. I got to stay hydrated, kids. Pro move.
Yep, he's a home run hitter, but I don't see him as like a Dalvin type. I don't know who I'd compare him to because Javonte's more of a bigger back too. I don't think Dalvin was quite that big until he got to Florida State. So that's a tough one because I look at him as a bigger back. But he is the number one guy if I'm FSU that I want on my team. I mean, this guy is the best running back I've seen. His film is incredible. Watch this play, Aslan. I mean, he is just gone, like just explodes like out of a rocket. He just has a little bit of what I like about him is the way he reads the blocks, and then when he gets through the crease, he's just gone.
Good vision, huh? I'm like, I don't want to call it, maybe like Anton Smith almost.
Yeah.
Anton Smith.
Yeah.
But I mean, Oklahoma's on him. Isn't everybody on him? That's going to be a tough bet, right?
Yeah, Oklahoma is the main competition. I think FSU did a fantastic job on him this weekend. I'm not going to say FSU leads, but I think FSU showed him the best job as far as any team he's visited of running the ball and their dedication to the running game. Lately, Oklahoma's been throwing it a lot. And when I watch Oklahoma, I think FSU did a great job of selling their program. I think this kid is really, really interesting. And this isn't a kid that's from Desert Pines, Aslan. He is originally from Orlando, Florida. Like, so he is from Florida. Like, he is a Florida kid. Like, his family's there. A lot of his family's from Orlando. So that certainly is a benefit. And I think FSU has got a real shot here. That's a good one, Khalil. I agree with you. Arian Foster is a really good one. I think I see that too when I watch him. But I think there's a realistic shot. I did not feel that way when he was coming into the visit, but I think there's a real shot with FSU. For those that need a recap, Kenny Dillingham has recruited him the longest. Kenny was his first offer when he was at Auburn. So Kenny is really has been on this for several years, 3 or 4 years. So this is a guy that certainly there's a lot of longevity in the recruitment.
All right, let's get back to the phone lines here. I think we got Kyle in Colorado. It's also get down or lay down. He helps carry the day when it comes to trench shot. Kyle, good afternoon to you, I think, out there in Colorado. How are you, man?
I'm doing pretty good. It's almost 6 o'clock out here.
Yeah.
How cold is it there in Colorado?
For you, say again.
Michael?
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm asking about.
Go ahead, Kyle. I'm sorry. I'll go ahead, Kyle. It's all you.
Clemson. Are we interested in him? I know we had offers on him at a high school, and he chose Clemson over us. But is the interest still there, or what's the deal with him?
What player was that? I'm sorry.
Paul Chio.
Okay. Oh yeah, offensive lineman from Clemson. Yeah, I think there's some contact. I don't think it's a full-fledged phone call yet that really signifies, hey, we're really, really interested. I think the two guys that visited over the weekend, I think those are the guys that there's been constant phone calls. Bless Harris and I want to say the Wisconsin offensive lineman, I forget his name, Caden Lyles, I want to say. But with Paul, I think they're in the early stages of there's texts. They're checking him out. They're kicking the tires to see what background there is. Is there some issues there, or why are you leaving? That's kind of the normal stuff they do when they check on these kids. So I think that's where they're at as far as in the process of just seeing if this is a potential fit for him. But there certainly is a little bit of communication, at least checking on him.
Awesome. Well, I'm not going to type the phone line too long. I just want to say I love you guys. You do a great work, and I appreciate everything you do for us. Go Noles. Thank you.
Put that on tape. Put that on tape like Mickey Andrews. It's a way to do it right there. That was 1 minute and 54 seconds. My guy called, asked a question, got his answer, said hello, say goodbye.
Peace out. I'm out.
My God. Good. Let's see if we can go 2 in a row on this. Let's go to the phone lines again. Let's roll the dice. Feeling froggy. Looks like the caller's name is Dave, and he's from Tallahassee. Dave, what's up?
Dave, what's going on?
Dave, man, you waited for 25 minutes. You've been waiting for 25 minutes to get through. It's your time to shine. Oh, and he hung up. Well, can't win them all. You can't win them all. All right, we got one more caller.
Okay.
Don't know who this is. Last called the day before Halloween. So hopefully they're not a prank caller. I'll be ready, though, on the trigger here. Who is this? Where are you calling us from?
Hey, this is Court calling from St. Pete.
Okay.
Hey.
That works for me. St. Pete, my people. South County, stand up. What's going on? What Court did you say your name was? Court?
Yep.
All right, right on. Court, what you got for Michael?
Well, I had a question about the linebacker Daniel Martin. I haven't heard a lot about him since earlier in the season. I was wondering if he was still on the board or if that's not going to happen.
Yeah, he's definitely. Thanks for the question, by the way, Cord. He's definitely on the board. He hasn't taken any visits lately. I think because he wants to see some places like after his year's over. His team just got, I think, to the semifinals at Marietta. So I think he's waiting to check a few more places out once that ends, and then I think kind of wrap up his decision in December. But yes, they are definitely still on him. There's heavy communication. I think Chris Marv is on him really hard, even though he's listed as in the show as we see here at safety. I think he's a outside linebacker, and certainly one that FSU covets. They do want him.
Okay. And just one other question. I would say out of all the guys that were on campus last week, the one that I would most want, obviously, would be the tackle 5-star that's committed to Kentucky. And he was kind of a surprise to see he was going to pop up for a visit. Are there any other players out there like that you think FSU might be surprised to see coming in for visits that might not be on the radar?
Well, I'm to be honest, Cord, I'm never surprised with the guys that show up because they are so good at relationships, and you're not lying, Court. This guy, I was standing in front of him. I mean, Aslan, he is massive.
Yeah.
Like, he is like a mountain. Like he is but certainly it was big. They got him up there, and really coming to visit. I think Kentucky, Alabama. He's committed to Kentucky, Alabama. Those have been the two teams I'd heard. But after this visit, I mean, the person I talked to that's really close with him, I would put FSU right there with those three now. So there's three teams. So I certainly see that. But I think most of the guys, Court, that we have covered, especially on my 12 to watch and guys like that. But I don't think there's going to be like guy that's like completely out of the blue. But with this staff, you can never rule anything out because their relationships are so deep. I think in December, I think there'll probably be some surprise official visitors that maybe we'd heard they were talking a little bit, but then it picks up, later in the process. But right now it's kind of a wait and see of who the prospect is. But I think most of them, I think we've covered. I think Latarians Welch is a guy to watch, defensive back committed to LSU. That's a guy that I think potentially will visit later for FSU as official in December. So that's a guy to watch. But I think you're going to see some similar guys like that. But I think most of them, we've mentioned. But the only one that was a really just a complete surprise was this kid because I didn't realize until I did some checking that Atkins has been working on him for like 3 months. So they've been talking a lot.
I thought that guy. I thought he was going to run down and make the tackle there. I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" But he hustled though. Man, he's incredible.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. If we could sign him. Anyway, thanks for taking my call. Go Noles, beat Boston College.
There you
My
go.
man. That's Court. St. Pete, stand up.
We like I like new calls. Like guys, like call in. We love new callers. It's phenomenal.
Get out the crowd if you're scared. Somebody once said. Get out the crowd if you're scared. All right, let's keep it rolling back here on YouTube. Everybody's been hunkering down. People want to know more receiver names. I think Carol asked earlier. Armonte wants to know who are recruiting at wideout other than Kevin Coleman.
I don't have any answer for you, Armonte. I mean, it's mainly been Kevin Coleman. Certainly, there's been guys that they're checking on. We talked about Camden Brown. There's another one in Mississippi. I want to say, I'm not going to say his name wrong. I don't want to say it wrong. But there's just guys they're checking in on. Certainly Antonio Williams would be one that I would kind of circle that kind of keep an eye on to see if he does visit before he signs. But really, if it's, I think the most of the focus for receiver is going to be, I think really is going to be in the portal. I think they're really focused a lot of their attention on the portal. They're going to go. We already put, for those that are members, they saw the 2 names that I put at wide receiver that they're talking to. So there's 2 receivers already they're talking to. If you go to the PR Bay, you can read that. But I think most of it's going to come from the portal. I can see them getting, say if they do pull Kevin Coleman, still think they're going to get like at least 2 receivers from the portal. If not, wouldn't shock me with 3. I mean, because they need so much help at that position. They need help at guys that can come in there immediately. So right now, I'd say Kevin Coleman is the main one.
All right. I think you didn't have to throw $20 at us. We would have got to you eventually. You got to wade through the phone calls. You got to stay patient in the pocket, Colby. You got to be disciplined there. So he just throws $20, but he's got plenty of questions. So let's get to some of these guys.
Let's do it.
Have you ever heard of London Montgomery? All right, we'll go. We'll move on.
That's a new one to me.
I don't know if he DM'd me. Somebody DM'd me asking about. I mean, it's a team question, but I think this might be the same guy. Demori Tate. I mean, good. Yeah, everybody wants to know Demori Tate. What's the deal with Demori Tate?
Yeah, we don't know.
I haven't seen him practice. I mean, I haven't even seen him out at practice lately, but I'm not looking for him specifically. He just hasn't gotten in the mix there. But they're finally good on defense, everybody, because they finally figured out who they can count on and trust in the secondary. I don't think this is the time to start tinkering and throwing new people out there. I mean, he looks great, though. I mean, physically, like, he just looks so well put together. I don't know what's holding him back. I don't know if he's been hurt. I don't know if missing last season has been a problem with his development. But, I mean, we haven't heard anything about him being disgruntled or being in a doghouse. But they finally figured out who they like, and they're rolling with those guys. So that's really all I got to say on that one.
There you go. I mean, that's out of my realm with team stuff. I was out there, which, by the way, I was at practice on Wednesday, and I did not see him. So I don't know what his situation.
Yeah, but were you looking for him though, Michael? So I don't want to say,
really.
like, oh, he wasn't at practice. Like I'm not looking for him because he's not on the 2. So
I'm not going to look for a guy that I haven't seen on field action consistently throughout this whole season, and we're now nearing 2 games left in the regular season. So, yeah, I don't know if he's hurt or it's just a situation or just, sometimes it just takes guys longer, whether he's injured or just gets longer to adjust to the college life. I know he was a 5-star or a high-ranked guy, but it doesn't matter what you're ranked. I mean, you come in there, it's just about, sometimes it takes guys longer to have a learning curve, so that might be Demori's thing.
Thank you, though, man. We appreciate it, Colby. Thank you very much for the 20. Usually that gets you a little music, so why not?
Dollar bills, y'all.
Easy living every day, every week. Michael, where do we sit with Katron Allen?
Yeah, that's kind of weird. That's because we're out there and we're interviewing the kid, and he doesn't talk a lot. I mean, for people that we haven't talked about Katron Allen, he does very good, talented black. I mean, very good back, committed to Penn State. Obviously, there's rumors about his future head coach going somewhere else. Possibly, maybe USC. But I think Katron. Obviously, we talked to him for about a minute and a half. You really sense like he was getting ready to tell you, like, hey, he was really boasting about, I like what they're doing with the running game. Obviously, they run the ball a lot. You could tell he kind of liked what Jay Sean was doing. He was kind of getting to, just seeing if this is a fit for me. So, and then his mom said, okay, I'm tired. Let's go. Ready to go. So, boom, he was gone just like that. So, I think he liked it a lot, but there was a lot of secretive stuff where you had to do a lot of digging. Now, when I checked with FSU contacts, they told me, yeah, we don't think we think Barnes is the guy that we're going forward with. And then I know there's been some rumors today about, how this kid, a flip is possible to FSU. I have not heard that. I'm checking on that tonight. So that's kind of what I hear right now. Easy is that I'm checking on that to see what the validity is at. But that's what I was told from the FSU context I talked to, that it didn't sound like, hey, this was going to happen.
All right. Richard asks, dark horse that's not on the radar. Are there such things anymore? I mean, people aren't allowed to not be on the radar. It's his job to have everybody on the radar. But is there somebody you can't talk about? I mean, you can't tell us the name, obviously, but are you sworn to secrecy on anybody?
No, I try to open up and tell you guys, everything I have. As far as names, no, I don't think there's like a dark horse commit that they're keeping in the dark. I'm not even going to use the M word, that everyone likes to use, but I haven't heard one, Richard, that's kind of a secret and they're just keeping it in their back pocket and they're not saying anything. I think with this staff, you kind of, especially with the days of social media now, you can't get away with that anymore. Back in the the late '90s and 2000s when I was been doing this, yeah, you could get away with keeping stuff to the side while Bobby Bowden was there, but I don't think that works anymore. Keeping guys in the dark that you're just holding in your pocket. I haven't heard any.
All right, let's try to go speed round here. Sorry, everybody. There's a lot of people ask questions and started walking away.
Yeah.
Phone lines got a little tangled up here. Tom Mortner asks, how come Florida State never got a foot in the door with Singletary, Dindy, or Stewart?
Well, Singletary wasn't really that interested in FSU, and at that time they were stinking on the field. Dindy was more interested in Oklahoma and Florida, and then Stewart, I guess you're referring to Shamar Stewart. Just none of these kids were really that interested in FSU. It wasn't a lack of trying, Tom. They tried. They didn't have a lot to sell. That's why the Miami game was big, because now you have something to pitch when you go into following season in 2023. Yeah, it'll impact some 2022 guys, but it's mostly for 2023. But yeah, really, those guys, Tom, were just weren't that interested in FSU because, let's face it, at that time things were looking pretty stinky. I mean, they just weren't having a lot to sell as a program. So yeah, that's kind of the story on them.
Oh man, like I scrolled all the way to the top, and I'm like, that was 30 minutes ago, so that person probably left. Kamari Wilson, how about it? Just 2 words, Kamari Wilson. Camila Perez asks.
Yeah, I would probably say Georgia if I had to pick. He visited over the weekend, officially visit. I think there's a lot of personal ties to FSU, but he's always been linked to Georgia for me. And I mentioned Nicholson. I felt like that's a guy FSU probably pulls or they're in the lead. I just think with Kamari, it just looks like Georgia there.
How many more hard commits do you expect? Mike?
I'm sorry, what was that?
How many more hard commits do you expect?
Yeah, that's tough. I think what are they right now at like 17 if you count the transfer. I think they're at 17. So yeah, I mean I think it'd get up to 23, 24. So probably at 6, 7, something like that.
Yeah, they're up to 16. Bless Harris.
Yeah, and then you got all these transfers that you could possibly add. So it's going to get up.
Is most everybody early signing period, or any of these guys make us wait till February?
I don't think there's going to be many, if at all, guys that make you wait till February. I think now what you will see, Aslan, is you'll see some guys that they know their decision in December, but then they're going to announce it at the All-Star game in January. So early January, it'll be done. I just don't think there's going to be many guys, especially guys that FSU is going after, that are going to be taking it all the way to February. I think that's kind of draining away. It seems like more kids are wanting to get this thing done just right off the bat and get it done.
Can they still enroll early though? Like if they can go to their All-Star game and announce then and show up on campus like a day later?
Oh yeah, I remember that. You can go to your All-Star game because the All-Star game's like on the 6th or 7th, and then bam, you go to your school of choice that next day. So and then you can enroll. So that's kind of how they usually do it. So yeah, I think most of this is going to be done. I think when we do this early signing period, I think it's going to be kind of a boring final sign. There's always going to be one or two, but I think that's about it.
Elijah Pritchett, ship sailed.
Probably. He wasn't there at the Miami game. That was kind of what I was looking for. Haven't heard anything with him except that I know he still communicates with FSU. But yeah, I would say that ship sailed right now.
Good headshot. T. Broyles, look at him. He's probably got a really strong LinkedIn with lots of recommendations. What about Wade Wudas out of Jesuit Tampa? Freak athlete, and he knows ball. He just picked up a Clemson offer.
There you go. Yeah, he's good. I like him. He's a guy that I think FSU is heavily on. I don't know. I shouldn't say heavily. I'd say they're on. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think FSU offered too. But he's a guy that I think visited FSU around the UMass game. So I think certainly he's a guy that they're interested in. Doesn't like Florida State offered according to the list, but got some nice offers on there. But I know he definitely is taking a look at FSU. I
Go
certainly
to Harvard, Wade. Go to Harvard, Wade.
Smart dude. Smart dude.
Go to Harvard.
You got Georgia Tech and Harvard offers. You're pretty smart. So yeah, there you go. But yeah, I think he's an option there. That's a possibility. But I haven't heard anything about him visiting or setting up a visit. I just know that he was he's at the UMass game if I'm not mistaken. So we'll wait and see if anything develops there.
I had a couple questions about the differences, if there are any, in terms, I don't know, maybe I guess you covering transfer portal stuff versus the traditional recruiting.
Oh yeah, there's a big difference. It's a massive difference. It's the thing is, here's the thing, guys, and particularly Austin Flowers when you're asking a question, but the difference between high school is like a lot of these kids in high school, they're really innocent. There's relationships that you built for like a year or two with these guys or people around these guys, or their families, or coach, or guidance counselor, whoever you're tied with your sources, your contacts. Like transfer guys, they've already gone through all this crap. So they're not talking, they don't care. They're going to keep it to themselves most of the time. Now you might get fortunate, you're with a trainer and somebody close, but it is much more difficult to get intel on transfer guys because they've already gone through this. They don't want to talk. They just don't want to do it. They've done that, so they kind of just want to make their decision, be done with it, and move on. So there's a big difference between the relationships. Now, sometimes you'll get a kid that I know really well that I've a long time past I've known that's in the portal, and say FSU gets them, I known them. You get those ties, but really that's not frequent. So most of the time it's a lot more digging and research with portal kids than it is just regular high school kids, where a lot of times I know where the guy's going, way in advance with high school than compared to portal, where it's kind of you're doing a lot of digging and last minute stuff. So that's kind of the difference.
Julian Armella, still likely.
Really?
What's that? He's still likely. I mean, was he ever likely?
I mean, I guess at the start of the spring, I mean, a lot of people, because he's a legacy, they just consider him. I think they're very much in the picture. That's the way I can, the best way I can put it. I think LSU, Alabama, Florida State, I think those are the teams that I hear the most with Julian. I think he's going to officially visit FSU in December. That's when FSU's got to nail it. Just nail everything, show what's special, what's unique about FSU compared to those schools. And if they do that, certainly on the field, they've already shown, what they can do, certainly from that Miami game. Even Julian Armella said no-blooded after the game. So he was pretty excited about that FSU Miami win. So, but like I said, December is going to be kind of the show us, man. It's the show us game for FSU, or show us a visit for FSU, for me to really address that question, and I'll be able to address it fully then. But right now, I think they're very much in the picture. That's what I would say.
JUCO. Anybody JUCO we need to know about?
Just DeCarlos Nicholson that we covered earlier. He's the #1 JUCO DB in the country, committed to Kentucky. But I think FSU has the momentum, and but that's really the only main JUCO that I know about, at least right now.
I think I just accidentally blocked somebody. I'm sorry. Scrolling all this stuff on the screen. I mean, you already answered. It's really tough to tell what's going on with the portal. But I mean, I would assume. I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Do you think Florida State will go after defensive line in the portal?
I think it's almost a certainty, in my opinion, at this stage, because you're losing Kier and you're losing Jermaine, so you definitely want to get at least one, if not two, if you find the right guys. Fortunately, last year they were lucky to get two. They got Jermaine first, and then they went in there. Kier was the guy that I was pretty confident they were going to get. It's kind of what I was talking about earlier. With certain guys you have relationships with, I've known Kier for a long time, back when he played at Miami Central, so that was one that I felt pretty good about. But yeah, I think you're going to at least get one from the one defensive end from the portal. I think it's so much you have to. Even if you get a guy like Marvin Jones, you want to have guys that are experienced that come in that can immediately help your defense. Now, there are some guys that I like that play behind those guys that are very talented. I'm very high on McClendon. I think he's done a lot of good things. I think Briggs is going to be back next year, if I'm not mistaken. So you got some guys to work with. There's some talent there, but I think
Quayshawn.
Quayshawn Fuller. I think you just got to get a productive guy that can come in immediately and help you and take some pressure off those young guys.
I guess maybe the last one here. A couple people are asking about if there's anybody in the Big Bend area, and then Tom Mortner asks, how come Florida State seems to struggle with local kids?
Well, the best answer to that, Tom, is they've stunk on the field. So they haven't given them a reason to stay in Tallahassee. Like, they've not been good. So, the struggle is going to be there because they don't have a lot to sell. And then, so when kids see that, they're going to like, well, I want to get away and go away. I don't think kids just hate Tally. I mean, Tally is an absolutely beautiful town. It's a beautiful college town. It's a beautiful place. And heck, I mean, the bottom line is kind of, like with the fans, when FSU will support a winner. And when you're a winner, you're going to get Tally kids. You're going to get kids around your surrounding area from, Valdosta, Thomasville, and such. But when you stink on the field, it's kind of hard to sell what your program is going or where it's going. Obviously, it sounds like they're turning the corner with this big win against Miami. That's certainly a big step in the right direction. But that's kind of the reason, in my opinion, about it, Tom, of why they've struggled so much in the last 2 or 3 years. I mean, the last 4 or 5 years have been pretty poor.
Yeah, I think you answered this when Wes called in about Miami coaching changes. Will that affect anybody? Or actually, maybe this is a two-parter. This is different. Paul wants to know, does the Miami game cause any Miami commits to waiver? Okay, and then King Spleen twice wants to know, are there any prospects that are going to flip?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Miami has too many commits that they would be interested in anyway. At this point. Now, there's a lot of prospects that are considering both FSU and Miami. Wesley Basante, Demori Tate, all those guys we covered. So there's certainly prospects, but I don't think there's any commits that I think FSU would push for.
Okay. Oh, so those Basante isn't committed?
No, he's not. But I was just saying prospects in general.
All right. Travis is going to ask who you think is going to commit first before the early enrollment. Well, I mean, they've had their first commitment for like a year now, probably, right? That's how it works.
Yeah.
All right, we're all tired. Everybody's tired.
I'm not.
Mike could do this all day, but I want to go eat dinner.
There you go.
That's a wrap, everybody. Head over to the PRB, the Premium Recruiting Board. Ask your questions to Michael Langston there. He's up pretty much every single waking minute of the day answering questions over on the Premium Recruiting Board, so you can get your queries into him there, and he'll answer them personally for you. And don't forget, early signing period is December 15th.
Correct.
We'll probably have like wall-to-wall coverage. It'll probably be pretty intense. So do subscribe to our page, lower right corner under Michael. Get yourself ready. Get a spot in line because it's going to be crazy. It's going to be so much bandwidth taken up, everybody hopping in here. So make sure you get ahead of the curve. Thanks, everybody, for the questions. Thanks for the phone calls. Thanks for the doll hairs thrown our way. I should pull that up. I should say people's names for helping us out. I know Rob Rathbun was here. Rob Rathbun showed up, dropped $50, didn't say a word, just left. Rob, talk to us, man. We like you. You're pretty cool. Jordan Newton, that sounds like a name, right? That sounds like a name that we said earlier. He dropped $10, had a question, but he asked about football team. But it's all right, Jordan. We love you still. Who else do we have? I think William McMillan dropped a little super sticker. Colby, Brian, Mark Sermons, Khalil, Eric, Jordan Newton. I said your name right. Look at me. Look at me. Thanks all you for the support. Michael, what should they do on their way out?
Click on the like button for us, guys. And just a reminder, we'll have I'll have a 12 to watch coming up. Get all that awesome content. We just put up our, I think, game preview of Boston College and FSU. 12 to watch. I know you guys have been waiting on it. It's going to be a lot of movement. It's going to be several guys that are new in there, or they haven't been there in a while. So certainly you want to click on that. There's a lot of great stories. And like I said, just hit the like button, guys. So whatever you need, I think Warchant's going to give you, whether it's recruiting or football, video, breakdowns, Jeff Cameron show, whatever. We got it all. So click on that like button.
Michael, I lied. Speed round, 1 minute. Let's get through as many as we can. Colby Perry, any shot. Trey Sanders leaves Bama for Florida State.
No.
Nathaniel Gates, will Florida State recruit out of California again?
Oh, yeah, they recruit there all the time. They're very active in the West Coast. That's where Norvell and certainly Dillingham coached from for a while. So at Arizona State. So, yeah, they will.
Tatiana, Eddie Kelly, question mark?
Committed to USF. So I think they're still talking some, but right now I'd say not happening.
And now Kyle wants to be a downer. Who's on flip watch? Or who's on flip from FSU watch? Everyone's strong, right?
Yeah, I think just about all the commitment. I mean, Antavius Woody would be one, but I think after this weekend, he was there this weekend with his family. I think FSU keeps him. So I don't think at this time I don't consider anybody.
They're getting greedy. One more easy living. AJ Duffy update.
He had a finger. I think he dislocated finger or something like that. He's out for like 3 weeks, according to AJ. So about a month, I think he'll be getting back in action. He's back home with his family, getting ready. So I think you give him a month or so, a month and a half, he'll be good to go.
Boom. Hey, Rob. Love you too, man. He's Michael. I'm Aslan. Hit the thumbs up on your way out. We appreciate you all for being part of this program. We really do. Thank you so much. Have a great one, everybody.